Testing, testing, testing. Good morning. Good morning. Can y'all hear me? Awesome. Mr. Bolton, good morning or good afternoon.
Hello. How's everybody doing? I don't expect you all to answer, so just, thumbs up, wave, something. And good to see you all.
Mr. Sullivan is connecting. Kendrick Holder. How's it going?
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
See if they can.
Yes. Thank you. I'll probably be off here before he gets back, but if you would go ahead and close that door too, I guess.
Mr. Fountain,
Hey man,
how you doing?
lovely, lovely. How are you?
Doing great, doing great. Mr. Quila, how are you? Commissioner
Hello, hello.
Smith, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How's everybody doing?
Good.
For the board resolutions, I know something was just emailed out. Will that supersede what was emailed out earlier, or do I need to open up both of these?
I accidentally attached two of the cheat sheets, so you can just amend one. Same thing document.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you. Okay. See, we have Commissioner Fountain here. I see we have Commissioner Bolte. I see Commissioner Willie and Commissioner Sullivan. We are all present. And it is 12 o'clock.
Pretty good.
Good. Attorney Riley, we good to go here? You feeling good?
Good to go. Thank you. All's well here. Appreciate you.
Mr. Andrew, you feel good?
Yeah, proceed when you're ready.
Proceed when we're ready. All right. Good afternoon. We're going to call this meeting to order. Our virtual meeting to order. We're going to do a quick roll call to make sure we have the commissioners present we need for a quorum. Commissioner Bolte,
I'm here.
Commissioner Fountain,
Here.
Commissioner Sullivan,
Here.
Commissioner Willie. Commissioner Willie. We see you, Commissioner Willie. We on here, but we don't hear you. Can you give us a thumbs up? Okay. We'll wait for Commissioner Willie to work through probably what are some technical issues on her end. At the very least, we know we've got 4 out of the 5 commissioners present. And once Commissioner Willie gives us the green light, we'll have all the commissioners present. The minutes were disseminated out. We appreciate the minutes. They look pretty good to me, but they must be approved. So anyone have any modifications or adjustments or corrections needed to be reflected in the meeting minutes?
No, I don't.
All right. So Commissioner Sullivan says nothing needs to be changed. Are we ready to call for approval of the minutes? Commissioner Fountain, were you ready to say something or?
I was just gonna move for approval if you're looking for a motion.
I love a motion, Commissioner Fowl. Thank you so much. We have a motion for the minutes to be approved as is. And the motion dies.
Second.
Okay.
I'll
Commissioner Bolte gave us a second for the approval of the minutes. Hearing no other discussions, all those in favor of approving last month's minutes as disseminated with no changes, please say aye.
Aye.
All right, minutes. So much. We have no old business to discuss for this meeting, and so we'll jump right into the new business. And Commissioner McGinnis, if you guys got, if you please mute yourself, if you don't mind, or Mr. Andrew, you have the ability to mute people. There you go. All right, we're good now. All right, Commissioner, I'm sorry, Executive Director McGinnis, the floor is yours, sir.
Hey, I appreciate it. Thanks to everybody for being here. We're going to jump right into this meeting. We're gonna kind of switch some things up. We have Daniel Shields here with us today, and I'll let him start out the meeting so that if he has other business he needs to attend to, he can do that. And Dan is with Rocket Partners Developers out of New York. I think I got that right. Dan, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but
Close enough, Tony.
He's with the group buying Pollard Circle. And I want to give him an opportunity to share with us any updates he has on the property and where we stand at this point. So Dan, I'll just turn it over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, Executive Director McGinnis. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for providing me with some time to discuss our efforts towards our development of the former Coke site and the HHA parcel on Pollard Circle. As you may have heard, last June, we reached an agreement with the City of Huntsville on a development agreement that will that has put into writing many years of negotiations with the city on on the city's participation in our redevelopment of that site. Since that time, we have been working on continuing due diligence on both the Coke parcel and the parcel owned by your agency. We have been working with our architects and engineers to work through the final, what we hope to be a final plan for the site. And we are excited that those efforts have been moving forward very aggressively. In fact, in the next couple of weeks, we will be closing with the trust that currently owns the Coke parcel. And by the end of the year, we expect to close on the purchase of the site from the Housing Authority. If you, I can show you, give you a sense of where we stand on our development. Unfortunately, I'm not at liberty to share our current final plan, but I can describe a little bit about what's going on. In the coming weeks or months, we will be making a formal announcement of what our ultimate plan will look like. But I can give you a sense of where it is based on the most recent plan as approved by the City of Huntsville. As you can see, our goal is to create, during the first phase of this development, a street wall along Clinton Avenue facing the VBC. So what we will have there, what this plan shows are two apartment buildings in the center of the site, the purple and we'll call it yellow buildings. Those buildings actually will be turned, each of them about 90 degrees. So the longest part of the buildings will be facing Clinton Avenue as opposed to through the depth of the site. Those two buildings will ultimately stretch the entire length from the creek to Monroe along Clinton Avenue. So if you can try and picture it, will create greater width of the site, but it won't go as deep. In between those two buildings, where we see here now, we have what we call a muse, will be almost a different shape. It would be a bottle-shaped green space that's a little bit wider at Clinton Avenue, and will narrow as the site goes north towards Holmes. Again, that'll end at about halfway through the site. The back half of the site, as indicated here, will, during our first phase of development, will be reserved to both green space and parking. Specifically, the area, the parcel that we will be purchasing from the Housing Authority will be a surface parking lot. The goal of our development of the first phase is to bring more residential density to downtown Huntsville, something that we've been repeatedly told by many different stakeholders is a desperate need. We're also looking to create more commercial activity. So in those first two buildings, we expect to have approximately 500 residential apartments. We expect to have about 45,000 square feet of retail at the ground level. And we expect to have approximately 40,000 square feet of office space. Of particular interest to, I suspect of particular interest to this board is the fact that both the green space that will occupy the area between the two apartment buildings, as well as the retail space, will afford residents of the Searcy Homes community opportunities for employment, opportunities for recreation, and through construction, additional opportunities for employment. So for example, we expect that one of the retail spaces will be occupied by a fresh market, a convenience store, not unlike the DGX that is opening on Clinton Avenue to the east of this site. So we'll have a market that is available to anyone that lives downtown, but will be conveniently located for residents of Searcy Homes who won't need to walk, a mile or so to buy a carton of milk or a dozen eggs or some fresh fruit and vegetables. Additionally, we're hoping that there are residents of Searcy Homes that would seek employment to work in that market. During construction weeks, we are looking into the possibilities of offering. We're working with our contractors. We haven't selected a final contractor yet, but we're expecting, and we've asked our general contractor prospects to consider hiring employees from Searcy Homes residents, if that's of interest to those residents, and providing job training when necessary. That's what we're working with. We can't confirm that they can do that yet, but we are working with them on creating some opportunities like that. Ultimately, there will be, as I said, 40,000 square feet of office on the second floor of the building that would be located at the corner of Clinton and Monroe. We don't have any tenants lined up for that site yet, but again, we would hope that those will create job opportunities for residents living nearby, specifically residents of Searcy Homes. As I mentioned earlier, there will be a green space. It's about the overall space is about 15,000 square feet in between the two apartment buildings. That will be programmed by our property management firm, and some of the programming will be open to the public at large. So there could be anything from exercise classes going out in the yard to movie nights, under the stars, things like that. Again, will not be made exclusive to residents, but will be more community focused for really anybody living downtown or in greater Huntsville. The goal here again is to create a community that is not exclusive to residents of the building. It's really to create a community and to integrate all residents, both residential and commercial residents of downtown, as well as visitors. As you've all, I'm sure, noticed, there have been many hotels that have opened in the last couple of years. The city expects that once we're really through the COVID pandemic, that business tourism as well as casual tourism will increase, bringing more and more people into downtown Huntsville. We're hoping that this site will benefit from that activity, and that the areas adjacent to our site will also benefit from what we're creating and what the city is continuing to attract. With that in mind, I'm happy to answer any questions.
It's Dan. This is Jim Bolte. So why did you change the footprint of the buildings? Why did you rotate them 90 degrees? What was the main reason for doing that?
Well, what we learned through our process was we wanted to stretch what is currently the sort of the highest trafficked area of Clinton Avenue, which probably exists 2 or 3 blocks to the east, around sort of the Honest Coffee Shop and things like that, towards the VBC, right? Because today there's not, because, well, this is an empty lot. There's not a lot of foot traffic. There's certainly not a lot of business traffic. And if our starting point has always been to build the residential buildings first, and to wait until those buildings, until the area evolves a little bit, the immediate area matures to the point where we were able to build what we thought would be an office building at the corner of Clinton and Monroe, and a hotel at the corner of Clinton and the Creek. The problem that we faced, or we figured out, was that if we did that, it would be very hard to convince retailers to sort of make that leap from the area around Clinton and Jefferson to Clinton and Monroe, or really opposite the Creek. But if we created what would be ultimately almost a full street wall of retail stretching from Monroe to the Creek, we would accelerate the commercial development of Clinton Avenue from the Creek down eastward, or really from the east to the west to the Creek. Is that clear? It's really to accelerate the economic activity along Clinton opposite BBC.
So under the new footprint, the hotel, the multi-purpose building, and the office and retail square footage would still be in the plan?
So I will tell you that our plan, the multi-purpose building has been made a little bit smaller and will exist within that green space between the 2 buildings. Right, so it'll be maybe 2,000 or 3,000 square feet, and that will sit in between the buildings. It'll be part of it'll be kind of a programming venue, event space. Maybe it's a cafe or a bar, or just a small music venue. We haven't really figured that out yet. The hotel and an office building will be built, we believe, in the center of the back half of the site. So almost where that multi-purpose building is today, if you can see my cursor in this area here, we expect to build, we're very hopeful that we will be able to build a large tower, maybe the largest tower in Huntsville, that will be a hotel at its base and an office building above it. And what we're doing in phase 1 is we're creating another road that will run from the Creek to Monroe. Right? So if you think about from here to here is a street. Phase 1, all of this gets built, but it's really just essentially 2 apartment buildings with some underground parking, some retail, and one floor of office. And then phase two, we'll have a hotel and an office building here. But the idea is until that is done, what we're creating is a new thoroughfare, mostly pedestrian, from homes through the site towards the VBC. Where this is all fenced off today, we'll create a pedestrian thoroughfare from Holmes to Clinton and the VBC with open access. It's in no way meant to be any sort of gated community. We actually want to encourage people to travel through the site.
And just one more, when will we be able to see the drawing for the latest plan?
We hope to be able to share that with you in November.
Okay. Okay, thanks for your presentation.
Thank you for having me.
Dan, this is Del Smith here. A couple questions. What you guys put on the site and how you lay things out. When you purchase a site, you get to have the rights to put things where you want them, how you want them. I think for us, at least for me, I'll speak for myself, it was just wanting to ensure that there was no development that was going to take place that the housing authority was going to not be able to support in terms of its use. And I mean, clearly you're doing what the city of Huntsville is expecting right now, which is mixed use and lots of opportunities with hotels and such. The boundary for the parking for homes, are there thoughts about what might exist there that would create a level of boundary? For example, are you talking about I know you said the community is not going to be fenced in, but is there any type of division that you're planning between homes and that parking space?
I'm not sure what you mean.
I mean, if I'm at Cersei Homes, will I be looking at a 10-foot wall?
I don't believe we have no plans for a 10-foot wall. Again, it is to encourage our entire MO is to encourage the neighboring community, whether it's Cersei, whether it's business community on the other side of Monroe, anyone to have unfettered access to the site. Now, if there's parking, there may be a small sort of fence in order to stop people from walking into the parking lots for safety purposes. But there will be street access, driveway access into the parking lot that you could walk through. Again, we're not looking to create sort of a moated castle. By definitely not.
Okay. And the other thing is, while I really appreciate your sentiments about we hope that there be opportunities for employment, we hope that there be opportunities for particularly the residents in our housing. We also both know left up to a pure economic stream that typically is not the case. I've been in many cities, and I'm sure you have as well too, where the storyline at the end of the day, after all this fantastic development takes place, is that there's still groups of people who have been, whether you want to say intentionally or not intentionally, left out of that economic prosperity. And this is not anything for you to have to reply to directly, because I don't think there's a lot that you can say other than the fact that we're going to reserve X amount of jobs or X amount of opportunities to our folks. But again, I just want us to be very careful about what we hope to have happen and what typically happens if left without any specific level of intervention. And that's a macro related issue that's not specific to you, but I just don't want anybody watching this to be fooled that all of a sudden this is going to create economic opportunities for our folks that maybe didn't have them.
Again, thank you for saying that. We understand that. We are very genuine when we say that we hope that we can do that. And you're right. We can't put any guarantees on that. There's economics that is beyond what we can select, right? There will be tenants who are job creators of this site that we can't tell them who they have to hire, right? I can tell you that we've had meaningful conversations with the different contractors that we're considering to build the buildings and told them that this is important for us to create opportunities for people that live in the community to seek out employment. And I don't think that it's a secret that almost nationwide, there is a shortage of employment. Sorry, there's a shortage of labor. Sorry, not employment, there's a shortage of labor. So I believe it's in everybody's best interest, ours, our contractors, and your residents, that we come together and find ways to create satisfactory employment positions that can be filled by residents of Searcy Homes and other communities.
All right, thank you.
You just hit, this is Dick Fountain, Dan. You just hit the comment with your closing remark there. I was thinking, yes, this would be a great opportunity for Searcy Homes residents just because of the walkability and convenience to come over and work either during the construction time and certainly when the developments, some of the places are open for business and all, but our other neighborhoods are all, as you know, fairly close to downtown, and so we've got a whole workforce out there that it'll be our job, I think, to promote opportunities, and we're looking forward to that in the partnership. I think we can get some folks interested and excited about the development and feeling welcome there, and hopefully for residents of some of our other neighborhoods, this will be just as great an opportunity as it is for the residents of Searcy.
Well, I can tell you that our goal is to become a good neighbor, to develop a relationship with all of Huntsville's important stakeholders, of which the HHA and its residents are certainly towards the top of that list. We see this opportunity for us, the redevelopment of this site, as a first step in our expansion into Huntsville. It will certainly not be the last one, and doing right for our stakeholders on this site will be an important step in being able to build that relationship beyond the site. That's not lost on us. So our plan is to do the right thing for HHA, for its stakeholders, so that we can do together. We can do more.
Thank you.
Any other commissioners have anything or any questions they have before we allow Mr. Shields?
Yeah, just a
To
quick
head
question
out?
here. So where are we at in our agreement or with our agreement that we have with you and the property? Are we still keeping to our original dates there?
We fully anticipate keeping to the dates. We finished our due diligence on the site. I believe that you've taken the deposit that the good faith deposit that we made in the spring, and we expect to close before the end of the year.
Thank you.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, I don't have a real question. I just I can't help but not respond to this as a little kid from public housing. So excuse me if this come off wrong. And this is obviously I'm commissioned for public housing, but I didn't Officer Hill mentioned in reference to in the future working with public housing, trying to ensure that some of those tenants may be able to actually move into the property. I guess I would ask that you all keep that in mind, because there's gonna be a bunch of little kids across the street looking at the pretty building, want to know how they can get over there. And like I said, I'm only coming from my perspective as a child that used to walk that neighborhood. So just keep that in mind. I know there's not an intent to do any, I guess, low income or income-based housing in the area, but I'll just ask you keep that in mind. I don't have a real question though. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. We will keep that in mind.
Dan, we appreciate you taking time out of your schedule to do this for us. I think this is very important for our board, and I'm sure you answered some questions that needed to be, you answered some questions that need to be answered. So we definitely appreciate it. If you don't have any more final comments, you are free to leave if you so choose to. But we appreciate you being on the call today, man. And again, we thank you so much for what's about to take place and look forward to this partnership in the near future.
Before I do sign off, I just wanted to thank you, Executive Director McGinnis, as well as members of the board that have provided some insight into the way the Housing Authority operates, what's important to the Housing Authority and its stakeholders, and really providing advice on how we could best move forward together. And I thank you for this opportunity to share our status and update you on where we stand. And I encourage you to reach out to us whenever you have a question about what we're planning and ways for us to collaborate and move forward together.
Thanks, Dan.
Thank
you
you
all.
Appreciate it. All right, we'll go ahead and move forward to financial services. Teresa, it's on you.
Good afternoon, everybody. And I will begin with my first action. It is Resolution 2021-32. Acting on a resolution authorizing the Executive Director to enter into a contract with DC Block for co-location service hosting. Neil is going to chime in and speak to our request here for this resolution. And we're asking to enter into this contract. This will enable HHA to host our own server in a co-location data center in Huntsville, Alabama. Using these services will allow HHA to transfer our existing cloud hosted service to a nearby location, be more secure, and limit downtime. The new hosting plan will replace our current Azure Cloud Citrix environment. So the purpose of this is that, just to speak in plain terms, utilizing the Citrix platform and the Azure environment is not working for us in the agency. And we need to bring this back in-house. You did approve on Resolution 2020-08 last year for us to host in the cloud and the Citrix environment. It has become very frustrating and inoperable for the users of this software. And we are still in the midst of implementation of the Emphasis Elite software. So the justification and description is that we visited DC Block, Neil and ourselves, and it is a bunker style environment and it will be secure. Neil will speak to those questions that you have. And going with DC Block, this will also allow us to be on the dark fiber network, and it will create a speed that we need to complete our jobs internet-wise. And so I'll let Neil chime in here. I know we discussed this during our strategic plan when we sat and talked to Commissioner Smith about the challenges we were facing on the Citrix environment, and he understood that our concerns. And also it was mentioned that Neil would be needing some help. So we did open up an IT tech support position that we have found someone to fulfill to also help. So at this time, I'll give Neil the floor, and we did provide the three items that he looked into for our hosting. So I'll let Neil have the floor and describe his side of what we need here in the agency.
All right, everybody. Thank you, Teresa, for that lead in. Basically, the problems we've been facing are with the Citrix client itself, and kind of the way that it functions with the Elite software. Elite was never designed to be hosted in this way. They kind of have taken a software that was made to be, an on-premise solution, and they've put it in the cloud and tried to use Citrix to allow people to connect. We've had problem after problem with it, as far as performance, reliability, and usability. We've got frustrated users. So the alternatives are to bring it back in-house, which was our first thought. But when we do that, we lose a lot of the things that we gain from a cloud-hosted environment. We lose a lot of the security, reliability, redundancies, and things like that. So that's when we started thinking about a co-location solution, which basically just means that we have a server hosted with a company that's nearby, whether it be in Huntsville or Nashville or Birmingham, where we can rent storage space from them, which would include internet access. We get to take advantage of their kind of blended internet stream where they have more than one internet provider. So if one were to go down, the others are still online. So we wouldn't have any downtime because of internet outages. We get redundant power. They've got backup generators on site. The buildings themselves are designed to withstand, I think it's F4 tornadoes, direct hits, things of that nature. They're built with, cinder block, concrete walls, very secure. The benefit is we'd have room to grow. We'd have, if we needed more space, we could rent more space. We could increase our bandwidth usage kind of on the fly. And Teresa also mentioned the one particular benefit that we get going through DC.
Okay, is that not just me? Other people can't
I
hear
think
me
it's
either?
locked up.
All right, I think he's trying to make the case why we need to move to a better internet provider.
The demonstration is effective, isn't it?
Okay, you there now?
Okay, so he's frozen.
Nah, he's back. I see him moving around now.
Is he back?
Am I back?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll take it from here. He doesn't. So this is one of the reasons, as you can see, why we need to move forward with this particular resolution 2021-32. The initial setup will be $5,550, and the monthly fee will be $5,416. So in the quick math that I will do, our hosting of the platform for 2022 would be $46,000 plus the $1,000 a month we pay for internet, which is about, let's say, $1,000. So in all honesty, this particular calculation only increase our cost when we take our hosting in the cloud, plus our current internet will increase costs approximately between $12,000 and $15,000 a year. But it is worth it for us to be able to have better internet and to be hosted here. So Neil's in my office now. If you want to have some questions to ask him about anything else that I've tried to explain here. But it is for us to increase our productivity, to make it better for our users here so we can move forward with this new software.
I'm not sure where I dropped off there. What was I talking about? When I was
They understood your point when you froze and went forward. So anyway, does anybody have any questions for Neil at this time? He's here.
Let me say one more thing. The plan that we would have with DC Blocks would include internet service for central office in that plan. So those other two plans, we would need to include that cost of our internet service. So getting on the city's dark fiber would give us a link directly from central office building directly to DC Blocks. We would not have to go through the internet to get there. So we would have, it would essentially be like the server was here. And getting on the dark fiber, which just means that it's fiber optic cables the city laid in advance that have laid dark. There's no light going through them. So we would be able to tap into that. And that would also, increase our internet performance and our accessibility to our server. And also by having it in town, in Huntsville, if there was a problem, we would have 24/7 access to the building. We could go at a moment's notice if we needed to do something, versus if it was hosted in, Birmingham or, Nashville, we would have to travel or hire someone there to help with hands-on activities.
So help me understand this, Neil, a little bit. This is Dale here. It seems, so is a true cloud solution not available? I mean, because, we're still talking about servers and points of failure with physical devices, and so many people are just moving away from that. So can you help me understand that?
I mean, it's still essentially like cloud-based. We're just not going to have, yes, we would have two servers like you're suggesting, but we could have, our primary and our secondary server at the same location. So by doing that, we would have that redundancy there. But our problem with the cloud-based system that's offered to us through Emphasis is they only offer it with Citrix attached. So now that we've bit the bullet, we've got the software, we're forced to live with it as is, which we've been trying to do for a year, or we pull it back in-house as other agencies do, or we come up with something in the middle. And this would be that something in the middle where we would get a lot of the benefits that we do get from the cloud hosting, as far as the reliability, the redundancies, the security.
I don't want to stop you short, because I know we got a lot of resolutions on the table here, and
sure.
so I mean, I've kind of expressed just a general thought, but I think we probably have enough to at least have some discussions with the commissioners, or at least entertain a motion. So, any other questions? Any other commissioners? Yeah.
Teresa.
Yes, sir.
I guess my question would be is that thing that we spent the $500,000 on a couple of years ago, does this make it easier? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, sir. That's what I'm saying. It will make it easier for us to utilize the software that we have purchased. Yes.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, sir.
That's all I have, Dr. Smith.
Okay. All right. Well, we have resolution that's been put forth. Resolution, what is our resolution number here?
2021-32.
All right, thank you. 2021-32, acting on a resolution for the executive director to enter into a contract with DC Blocks for co-location services hosting as presented by Mr. Andrew. Willing to entertain any motions?
Motion to approve.
Commissioner Willie, welcome.
I'm finally connected.
We have a motion on the table.
Second.
All right, properly seconded by Commissioner Fountain. Any further discussions? Hearing none, we'll call for the question. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, the resolution passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. My next item is to ask for resolution number 2021-33. Act on a resolution ratifying previous approval to enter into a contract with Jay's Home Improvement LLC for as-needed building maintenance repair services. The Huntsville Housing Authority sought out bids for qualified contractors for emergency building maintenance repairs authority-wide. The purpose of this action is to ratify previous approval from the Board of Commissioners authorizing emergency building maintenance and repair services as needed basis. The contractor shall provide continuous as-need building maintenance and repair services at all HHA locations. The Board of Commissioners was polled by email on September 2nd, 2021. At that time, the board authorized HHA to proceed with the contract. The justification and descriptions, I will not read all of that, but as you can see, we did our due diligence of advertising our e-procurement, 26 vendors on our HHA internal list, also the Huntsville Times, Speaking Out News, North Alabama Chamber of Commerce. And after each one of those, we received 2 proposals, and Jay's Home Improvement LLC was the successful business to receive it. The economic impact is not known at this time because it's based on the needs of the authority when they are called out. So this would be resolution number 2021-33, the one that you all had previously approved on September the 2nd, 2021. Are there any questions about this?
Is this a local vendor?
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay. Minority owned?
I'm going to say, Lindsay is shaking her head, yes.
Okay. I know this has been brought up a few times, and if I can recall, we've times where it's been, we'll get a report out to you. I have yet to see any type of report that has to do with our spending and our vendors and kind of classify them as being local or not, minority, women owned, veteran owned. So we can kind of bring that back up as a priority list. Again, it's been asked for a couple of times. It would be helpful to see that, just FYI.
Okay.
Thank you.
I will email you that list today. Lindsay Pollard did give it to me, and I will email that out to you all today after the board meeting. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I would also add that in the future, whenever we ask for pretty quick approval via email, that we try to include as much information as possible, specifically pictures. You know, in this case, pictures, I think, were very valuable. I think it was Shaquila that asked for the pictures kind of after the fact. So, you know, in the future, we can maybe make a more, or at least a quicker decision if we've got some visuals to go with it.
Yes, sir.
Any further discussions or questions? If not, willing to entertain a motion for resolution 2021-33.
So moved.
All right, moved by Commissioner Bolte.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Sullivan. Any further discussions? Hearing none. All those in favor of approving resolution 2021-33, ratifying a previously approved of approval of the executive director and enter into a contract with Jay's Home Improvement Services for building maintenance and repairs. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, resolution passes. Thank you.
Thank you. My next resolution is resolution number 2021-34. Act on a resolution authorizing the executive director to enter into a contract with Forever Green Lawn Services, LLC, for lawn care at Northwoods. The Huntsville Housing Authority requested quotes from qualified, licensed, and insured entities to provide lawn care and landscaping maintenance services for Northwoods. The objective is to maintain outward appearance of Northwoods. 706 potential vendors were contacted through e-procurement, 63 through our vendor list. We also placed ads, Huntsville Times, Birmingham News, Speaking Out News, and North Alabama Chamber of Commerce. We also, this is good, we got 6 vendors to propose. That's a very high number. We're happy about that. And after it was said and done, but all the rating, Forever Green Lawn Services, LLC submitted the apparent lowest quote to perform the services required in accordance with the RFP scope of services. And the estimated cost of landscaping maintenance service contract is $144,000 annually. This contract is for a 1-year period with 4 one-year exercisable options for a maximum contract term of 5 years. This is resolution number 2021-34.
Teresa, what are the options for the extensions?
What are the options?
Is the exercisable options at the same price?
I want to say yes, I believe so, but I will follow up. I did not look at the contract that closely, but I believe that it stays the same price.
Yeah, I think.
But I will correct myself if it doesn't.
Yeah, let's try to verify that, because essentially we're passing a 5-year contract, and so I hate for the exercisable options to say an increase of 25% a year, and we're passing that.
No.
I mean, I know it's not going to say that, but again, since we're passing a resolution for a contract that's up to 5 years, I just think it's prudent for the commissioners to understand the ramifications of this past that first year. And if it's to staying the same, we're good. But I mean, if anybody else doesn't care, please let me know. But I just think that that's the prudent thing for us to do.
I understand.
All right, I'm monopolizing the questions. Please, anyone else jump in there?
No, you almost sounded like a procurement professional just there, sir. Good job. I don't have any, but that, yeah. If
Okay.
you did good, sir.
Thank you. Appreciate that, Commissioner Sullivan. All right. Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion for this resolution.
Motion to approve.
All right, we got a motion by Commissioner Willie. Any second?
Second.
All right, Commissioner Fountain, second. We have a motion properly second. Any other discussions, questions, concerns? All right, hearing none, we'll call the question. All those in favor of resolution 2021-34, approving the executive director to enter into a contract to provide lawn care services for Northwoods, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, resolution passes. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. The next item, discuss this before I bring this resolution before you. Now, my discussion is this: the write-off is for our tenant accounts receivable. Our balances are continuing to grow. And because some tenants are choosing not to pay rent because at the time they know they will not be evicted due to the moratorium. Now that is supposed to end October the 3rd. We will see going forward what will happen. But in the class that I attended last month, HUD is not going to be lenient about these TAR balances. So there are monies out there available for the tenants to get assistance. And that money is based on certain requirements that they can get those funds. Be that those non-payments are due to COVID-related activities. Now, some tenants have just decided not to pay and they have not been affected COVID-wide. And I just want you to know that this number of write-offs could be the highest that we have seen within the agency for this fiscal year ending 2022. We are going to work with agencies to take our residents to be able to apply for this assistance. But I just want to make you aware that I'm expecting this balance not to increase and that the write-offs for the third and fourth quarter will probably be higher. And I just want to make that statement and make you aware of what we're looking at here within the agency. So moving forward, this resolution number 2021-35, the Huntsville Housing Authority has on its books $44,657.65 owed by former residents who vacated June 1st through August 31st. The object of this purpose is to have your approval to write off $44,657.65 as collection loss for the quarter ending August 31st. This action is necessary to remove uncollectible accounts. This amount breaks down as follows: rent, $15,480.80. Maintenance charges, $11,490.85. Court costs, $3,082. Late charges, $1,204. And retroactive rent, $13,390. And bulk cable of $90. There are no other alternatives. This is a quarterly write-off for the amount of $44,657.65. And this includes 33 accounts that we will be writing off. Do you have any questions for me about this write-off?
Ms. Teresa, I have just one. So 33 accounts, is it 33 residents?
Yes, 33 residents.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I had a question too. It appears that 75 to 80% of this is from Butler Terrace Edition, and LR Patton. Is that a factor that area is stated, is slated for redevelopment and the choice neighborhood? Because I'm seeing things that are coming out over there of, negative things coming out about what our plan is and what the city's plan is for the area, and people not having an opportunity to come back and that kind of thing. Somebody shared a letter that had circulated over there, and I just wondered if that's a factor, that there's sort of a negative perception about what's coming in the neighborhood.
Well, I can't address that as far as what the attitude of the residents may be, but that notice came out like last week, and the amounts we're writing off are June, July, and August.
But it's been an ongoing, there's been a lot of ongoing conversation. We've had other problems in the neighborhood, and maybe the property manager could better address kind of what the environment is over there, but it would appear that's where the majority of our issues are coming from in regard to the rents.
Terry, do you think you can speak to this for Commissioner Fountain? Can she hear me? Okay.
I heard you. Yes, the write-offs mostly are from there. I think it has mostly to do with some, we had some evictions that had been long-standing and took us, some of them almost a year to clear, and they had large balances. So I think it's skewed, the number is skewed by that. There were about 3 people that got the evictions finally came to fruition after many, many months, and they had large balances. I don't think it is what you're seeing. I think the letters were, I'm not really sure what those letters were referencing. Our people that are moving out of Butler Terrace Edition, it has gone very smoothly, although there have been some difficulties with some of our voucher holders actually securing a place. And they've had to transfer to public housing. Even that has been pretty smooth. Some of our largest balances moving forward are actually from Northwoods. And if we can't get a handle on those using the resources that we have in the community to assist some of our families, I think you're going to see a totally different picture when we do the next write-offs. But like I said, I'm going to say, I hate to say the word coincidence because maybe there aren't ever any of those, but these large balances were caused by some evictions that took a very long time to come to fruition because of appeals and ongoing incidences. And I don't think it reflects the true picture of what the balances are in those communities.
Okay, thank you. You answered my question. Obviously, that it's several large amounts in large cases versus a mass of sort of a trend of folks defaulting. Thank you, Terry.
Any other questions, commissioners? Okay, hearing none, I'll entertain a motion for this resolution 2021-35.
Motion for approval.
Commissioner Sullivan moved. Any second?
I'll second.
Commissioner Willis second. If no other questions for Teresa, we'll call the question. All those in favor of resolution 2021-35, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, resolution passes. Thank you.
Okay. My last item, number 5, the presentation of cumulative low-income housing finance report for the period ended July 31st, 2021. As requested, Commissioner Bolte, as you see at the top of the report, we have annual, and then it says month ending for July 31st, 2021. That is for the month of July only. And the year to date takes us through July 31st, 2021. Moving forward to explain the variance of items 10% or greater, I will go to the second page of the financials to total tenant services. And on this line, the allocation of resident services personnel to grant funded positions has resulted in a favorable variance for this reporting period. Moving down the page to total maintenance, the favorable decrease is due to a fluctuation of maintenance materials that occur throughout the year. Moving forward to the third line, total protection services, the unfavorable increase is due to extending the security contract at central office. The use of the security ended on 7/29/2021. Moving forward to the last page here, at the present time, our collection loss is favorable. It doesn't include the write-off of the $44,000, but the favorable variance is due to the amount of monies that we have collected that offset the bad debt expense. So overall, our year-to-date increase, our income at this time is $881,694.15 compared to a budget for this particular period of $19,014.56. So also I wanted to say that I did find the Section 3 information that was asked of me to present to you for the year of our prior fiscal year. We awarded to 4 local businesses and to the minority businesses, we awarded to 1. So Commissioner Smith, were you wanting a breakdown of the amount that we paid out to these businesses for the prior fiscal year? Or what other kind of detail can I send you for these businesses?
Yeah, so just to give us a snapshot on kind of how we are with spending with those entities. I mean, prior fiscal year is fine. If you've got something that's current, that's okay. I think prior fiscal year, we can start with that. I appreciate it.
Okay, no problem. Thank you all so much.
All right. Thank you, Teresa. Appreciate your report. Appreciate it. We're going to move over to assisted housing. Paula?
Good afternoon. Can you hear me? My first item is a request for your approval of revisions to the Section 8 Housing Choice Voucher Administrative Plan. These two revisions are specifically related to the Emergency Housing Voucher Program and the HCV Homeownership Program. We utilize the NAMICA model plan for our admin plan, and we subscribe to their revision service so that we can be sure to remain compliant with the Code of Federal Regulations. It also has recommended language for each area in which PHAs have discretion or flexibility to develop our own policies, areas kind of where we can customize the policy to best suit the needs of our agency. The NAMICA plan gives us a really solid foundation in policy making. So today, the first revision I would like for you to approve is in Chapter 6, under Overview of Rent and Subsidy Calculations. As you know, HHA has agreed to participate in the Emergency Housing Voucher Program in collaboration with the City of Huntsville Community Development, which is the lead agency for the continuum of care. We hope to house 110 homeless individuals and families. Since many of these applicants will not have income, we would like to waive the $50 minimum rent requirement. We currently waive this minimum rent requirement for families receiving assistance in the VASH program and the COC Shelter Plus Care program. All of these programs target the homeless population. The economic impact for this revision could result in a maximum additional monthly HAP expense of $5,500 if all EHVs are utilized and all EHV participants were zero income. The second revision is in Chapter 15 under Family Eligibility for the HCV Homeownership Program. One of the requirements states that the family must be a current FSS program participant. We would like to open up the program to include former FSS participants who have graduated from the FSS program. Quentin's doing an amazing job working with our clients, and we certainly believe we're going to see this program grow with his guidance and support. So with this revision, we want to say that a family must be a current FSS program participant or an FSS program graduate. Do you have any questions about either revision for me?
Okay, I don't hear any questions. You've been presented with a request and a resolution, and this is resolution 2021-36, approving revisions to the administrative plan for the Housing Choice Voucher Program. This time I entertain any motions.
Motion for approval.
Commissioner Sullivan,
Second.
Commissioner Bolte, properly seconded. Hearing no further discussions, all those in favor of approving the resolution 2021-36, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, the resolution passes. Thank you.
Thank you. My next item is a request for approval to award 80 project-based vouchers to Elmington Capital Group for a proposed apartment community in Harvest, Alabama. To refresh your memory, the project-based voucher program is an optional program that provides housing authorities with a flexible tool to increase housing opportunities for low-income families. And most important to us, it will help to improve voucher utilization. PBVs are vouchers where the assistance is attached to the unit rather than to the tenant. And housing authorities can attach up to 20% of its voucher assistance to specific housing units. HHA issued a solicitation for project-based vouchers in 2017. Wilmington Capital Group submitted a proposal for a new apartment community. The RFP committee evaluated their proposal and recommends awarding 80 project-based vouchers for their dry development. The evaluation score was 70, and it's shown on the VA and the resolution. Did I say 70 or 74? You can see they received a low score under the case management services, but this is not a requirement. Because the property is located in a low poverty census tract, we have the ability to award 100% of project-based vouchers without any supportive services attached. However, one of the representatives did tell me that they have plans for a medical clinic adjacent to the property, but he wasn't at liberty to share any details just yet. We absolutely appreciate and welcome the new construction of affordable housing in our jurisdiction. So our purpose for this request is to improve voucher utilization and to further our efforts to deconcentrate poverty and expand housing opportunities by providing assistance at Dry Creek, a proposed 80-unit affordable housing community to be located at the northwest corner of Highway 53 and Burwell Road in Harvest. This is Resolution 2021-37. Have any questions for me about this one?
Although when they submitted their proposal, did they also provide drawings of what the development would look like?
They did.
Mm.
I can share that with you.
Yeah, I think, most of the time when we're talking about developments that are going on, and I know this is the case, we're not building anything, but someone else is building it. I think it would be helpful just for us to be able to visualize kind of what it looks like. So if you could share that, that'd be great.
I sure can. It's really exciting for us since we don't have any place for our clients to move into, right? Of course, we know it's about a year away, maybe a little bit more, but it's exciting that they're going to have some opportunities to move into new developments. So I'm happy about that.
Yeah.
What was the total number of units, Paul?
80.
No, I mean that they're actually building. Are they
80.
actually?
They want 100%.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
Oh, okay, cool. Thank you.
And where are they off again?
Highway 7.
No, the developer.
corner. Huh?
The developer. Where's the developer from?
Oh, well, they're actually based out of Nashville, but the president is here in Huntsville local.
Okay.
I had a question too, based kind of similar to what Commissioner Sullivan just asked. So there's 80 units and all 80 will be project-based vouchers. Isn't that sort of, normally isn't it a percentage kind of rule of thumb as far as like deconcentrating poverty where you wouldn't give a voucher to 100% of the units?
It is, but because it's located in a low poverty area, HUD allows that because we're trying to get more people into the low poverty areas.
Right. It would just seem when this, trying to create mixed income where maybe you'd have half of them or something and the other half would be market. But I'm not questioning our decision here. Just that was what I've always understood, that you just wanted like a percentage to where you'd have a mix.
It is that way. It's 25% is the max unless they are located in a low poverty area. So I think the reasoning for that is just so that we can get more people into the better areas, better school districts, lower crime rates.
Right. Kind of like Cersei Homes. Somebody described it as mixed income. And I'm like, no, it's all public housing and lower income, but it is in a low poverty neighborhood and area with really good schools and access to services.
Right.
Okay, any other questions at this point? All right, we have a resolution presented, resolution 2021-37, awarding 80 project-based vouchers to Elmington Capital Group for a proposed apartment community. Willing to entertain any motions?
Motion for approval.
Second.
Commissioner Sullivan moved, Commissioner Fountain properly seconded. If no further discussions, we'll call the question. All those in favor of the resolution 2021-37, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, resolution passes. Thank you so very much, Paula.
Thank you.
Executive Director McGinnis, what else you got for us?
I'm gonna take myself off mute. I wanted to thank Teresa and Paula for their reports today. Thank everybody for being online. I have a few things I wanted to share. First of all, my apologies to the board members for not sending out the flyer for the Above the Smoke basketball tournament that we did in, well, we didn't do it. We kind of partnered with a group out of Cersei Homes to do a tournament over in the Cersei Homes area, just really showing them some community support. And hopefully we'll be able to do more of these events like that throughout the community. But it was well attended. And we really are hopefully trying to support that troop that's over in that community and really show them more support throughout the years. I know oftentimes we don't show them as much love as we'd like to, but this will give us an opportunity to build some bridges as it relates to the Cersei Homes community. We also, there was an alumni group out at Northwoods who had a Northwood alumni reunion last week. I was able to go out there for a few minutes. Again, this was a Northwoods Alumni Association. They had a reunion over at Calvary Hills Park. And I was able to go out there for a few minutes, see some of the residents, and you know, they had a good time out there. I didn't stayed a couple of hours, and they were still kind of building up for the evening, but I didn't get a chance to really see it at its full maximum, but it was still a good event for the Northwood community. And then on Thursday, we had our employee recognition awards lunch that went really, really well as well. And got a chance to recognize some of our employees who've been here for an extended period of time. We have one employee who's been here now that works in maintenance for 35 years. And, you know, just got a chance to celebrate those milestones from a lot of our employees, just to show them some appreciation, especially since we hadn't been able to do this in a while. And that was a great, great meeting. I wanted to talk to the community for a minute. We're going to have a host of community town hall meetings so that we can really start to identify some of the concerns that are in the community, some of the concerns that may be going on, and address some of these issues like the flyers that have been going up on telephone poles, and really trying to get the information, correct information out to the community, answer any questions, because, you know, we've seen a lot, we hadn't seen a lot of negative reports from our residents, but at the same time, we're really going to try to get out and speak to them on a different level. I think the mayor, when I told him about it, he wants to come out to a few of these events as well. I'm looking to invite any board member, once we have this schedule in place, we're going to invite you all out to those meetings as well. And again, these will be a town hall to address concerns that are specific to a certain community. And so there'll be some general information that we share, but we really are trying to address individual communities and the support that they need as it relates to us helping those particular communities. Also, hopefully by the next board meeting, we'll have the Office of Resident Concern up and going. And this is just going to give our residents a platform to address concerns that they might have, and hopefully in an effort to get those concerns addressed within a 48-hour window, this will allow our residents an opportunity to know that we really are here for them and we're in partnership together to promote self-sufficiency and support the community in a way that I think will help us build bridges as we go throughout the community. And then last but not least, well, not last, but next to last, I wanted us to schedule some time in October, November, where we can get together maybe for a couple of hours, the executive staff and the board members to just address some of the things that we have on our strategic plan. We've been doing a lot of meeting with different partners to really address our partnerships and trying to get more people out in the community. We've worked with social services and resident services to address the issue of helping our residents become more self-sufficient. But I wanted us to get together to just kind of brainstorm on some ideas that the board may have as we address our strategic plan and really start to look at our portfolio in a different way to see exactly where we need to go. We wrote down in the plan that, we had all these properties and the value of these properties. Now I think we need to get together and decide what plan of action we want to take as it relates to our properties. And then last but not least, I want Jacqueline's going to send out a calendar, and I'd like to get together individually with the board members for either coffee or lunch and just kind of brainstorm on a one-on-one to see exactly where we are as an individual board and also collectively as a group. And so she'll be sending out some invites over the next week to see where everybody is. And hopefully we can sit down for a few minutes and just talk housing and just kind of get some additional feedback on where we are and where we're planning on going, especially before the end of the year. And if there's no other questions for me, that's all I have, Commissioner Smith.
Hey, Commissioner Bolton.
Yeah, Tony, thanks for all that. That really, really sounds good. Kids to Love, Lee Marshall reached out to me and I sent her to you, and I think you know her. I think there's some kids that are aging out of Kids to Love and that she wanted to get some grants. Can you update everybody on how that turned out?
I'm actually meeting with her and a developer today at 4. We actually have the Foster Youth Initiative program where we're partnering with the state DHR to provide vouchers for kids who are aging out of care. But what she wants to do is look at some property that she has and trying to develop that property. And so there's a developer that wants to work with us who may have some funds to assist her in that development. And if they can get that under contract, then we could actually work with the state to hopefully provide some vouchers for her so that we can assist that program on another level. Right now, I think Paula can address this more than I can. We have about 4 kids who are in that foster youth initiative right now, but each housing authority has up to 25 that they can house.
Right, we have 3 that are housed and we have 2 more with voucher searching for units right now. So yes, we can have up to 25.
Okay. Director McGinnis, any other comments from you, or does that conclude?
That's it for me.
Okay. Appreciate that update. Looking forward to sitting down and having some coffee, having some discussion with you, sharing some thoughts. I don't think we have any public comments. Is that correct, Mr. Andrew? No one? All right, no one to put in for public comments. This point in time, commissioners, anyone have any comments they want to relay? We'll go around the table. Commissioner Willie.
Thank you for the presentation. I am excited to hear about the new units coming on Highway 53. I think it's a great opportunity for our residents, and I'm glad that they are 100% for our residents. But great job, team. Keep up the leadership. That's all I have.
All right. Thank you, Commissioner Willie. Commissioner Sullivan.
No, I'm good. Good to hear from y'all today.
Commissioner Fountain.
No, I don't have anything. Thank you.
Okay. Vice Chairman Bolte.
No, I'm good. Thank you very much for everything.
All right. No comments for me. I know we had a lot of resolutions we had to get through. I know we had a lot of questions that we asked, and you have a board that is inquisitive. It wants to know things, but we also very appreciative of the fact that you guys have answers for us, and we work through these questions that we have. So I appreciate the developer coming and making a presentation. I'm curious to see the outcome being positive, not just for the city of Huntsville, but also for the housing authority and our residents. So I just encourage every opportunity that we have to kind of stay close to the developer to try to identify opportunities, maybe even some innovative opportunities as it relates to workforce could be beneficial. So that's all we have. I appreciate everybody's time. Hopefully you got lunch close by that you can grab, and we will connect again virtually at this point next month. And if that changes, we'll let you know. We appreciate it. Everybody stay safe.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Chairman.
All right, thank you.
I do want to make sure everybody got their virtual lunch.
Okay.